Hey guys, so I am at Aria right now. Look who's standing right here. It's Pompsie and Greta, guys. Guys, give them a huge thank you and shout out for coming on the podcast. I love networking. I told you guys all week, hey, I'm coming out to town to network and collab with different people. And not a hell of a bad start to start with these guys.
Hey there everyone, this is Matt Bridger and you are listening to the Vegas Confessions podcast.
Didn't we go to my favorite dive bar before that? We went to Double Down.
Double Down Saloon, yeah, we had some ash juice.
I am all about ash juice. Yeah, baby.
You guys need to go check that room. There's like a dead guy in the bed. And the lady at the counter says, well, we'll call housekeeping. Like, housekeeping?
Jay's never met an asshole he didn't like. Shout out to the guy at third base at the blackjack table I was at last, who was obviously trying to keep a high-low count, but was mouthing the numbers as the cards were being turned over.
Be careful what you say, because we can have you whacked.
Okay, I'm Nicky Furmich, and you're listening to the Vegas Confessions podcast.
What up, guys, and welcome back to the Vegas Confessions podcast. And as you can see, I'm super stoked. Look who I got next to me. It's Pompsie and Greta. Guys, I'm super excited to have you on. Thank you for taking a moment to sit down with me. I know you guys are busy. You got a reservation in a bit, but I'd love to pick your guys' brain. Super cool videos. I reached out to you when you first got here. I'm like, dude, I'd love to sit down and learn more. I just started YouTube. Like, you do it differently than anybody.
Another one.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a...
Can you talk to a little bit about your background and how you got into it and why?
Yeah, okay. So, it all started when I was a kid. I was skateboarding.
Yeah.
And that's what me and my friends did. That was like the main hobby. And one day we went to the skate park. My friend's dad was filming, and when we got home to his house, he was just showing us how to like edit the footage on his computer, and it was the first time I saw that, and I was like, what, that's crazy, that's how movies are made. So I immediately was just like, I just had that moment. I was like, this is what I want to do. So I first started making videos, skate videos with my friends, and I was a filmer, editor, and then I knew I wanted to pursue it professionally also. So I studied it in high school and in college, and then after college had a few different jobs doing video work.
Okay.
And fast forward, I started doing like freelance video editing for YouTubers.
Okay. Because
I always wanted to figure out how to make like a living myself with my videos.
Yeah.
So I figured like what better way to learn than like working for some successful YouTuber already.
Yeah.
So I started editing for a few of those, and then eventually my channel started to kind of get some traction, and I was able to kind of quit the clients and just focus on whatever I wanted, basically.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you guys getting here. Greta, you were a big part of him getting here, and you guys, moving here and stuff. So you got here for work, right? Was that the reason?
Yeah, we were in Connecticut, and I got a job offer in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I spent 2 months here before, and I loved it. He came to visit, and we actually figured out that Vegas is not just a strip, which is fun. And yeah, so I had the job offer, we came here, and partially that kind of helped everything happen. So.
And can you talk a little bit about when you started getting comfortable and you're like, okay, I think I can do this full-time for myself, when you started to notice, traction happening?
Yeah, so YouTube is, making money with YouTube was like, I thought it would never happen. I thought it was literally like impossible.
Yes.
But like literally, I just made videos for fun, for passion, and I just wanted to keep getting better, and that was the thought. And I remember I made one video, like I stayed at New York when it reopened in Vegas, and in the first day or two, it got like 20,000 views. And I was like, whoa, like, because at the time I was getting like only 300 per video, basically. Yeah. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So naturally, I was like, kept making, New York video. After that, I did the MGM and this and that, and they kept getting similar amounts of views. I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So eventually, it got to the point where I was able to monetize my channel. Yeah. So I put in my banking info and all that crap you have to do. Yeah. And like a month later, after like a full month of like YouTube like work, it says, boom, this is what your paycheck's gonna be. Yeah. And like, I was like, it wasn't a ton, but it was like something. I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So I just kept it up, and then the next month it was like 3 times as much.
Wow.
So I was like, whoa, like what the hell? This is as much as I made at my 9-to-5 jobs already.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is crazy. So then eventually just like that motivated me, and eventually like, you know, we make a good living now. So it's, you know, it's amazing, you know.
What advice would you give newer YouTubers getting into YouTube and, you know, going forward?
Just like the cliche advice.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You just have to make videos that you're passionate about and work as hard as you can. But the main thing is like you have to think about the viewer first.
Yes.
Like you have to provide value. Like that's what everyone does wrong.
Yeah.
You have to like figure out like, okay, basically it's like solving a problem. Like, but the problem is like, what does this viewer want? Whether it's like they don't know how to clean their shoes, so you're doing tutorials on how to clean shoes.
Yeah.
No one's doing that. So you make that. That's the value you provide.
Yeah.
So it's like finding the value, and then it's like doing it in an entertaining way.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the mixture. Like people want to see what the hotels were like in Vegas.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll show them, and I'll try to make it like cool and entertaining.
Yeah.
And in my way, it's like I want to have cool music and like cool shots and editing, and but to get back to your question, it's just like you just have to find like your value and like where it goes across with your passion. And
Yes,
just be passionate.
100%.
And the last thing I'll say is just consistency.
I was gonna touch that, but I'm glad you said
That's
that.
it. You
I'm
just
glad
gotta be
said that.
consistent.
Yeah, and then bigger YouTubers especially stress on, hey, consistency is key, especially, you know, if you're a smaller channel. You got to give them something to keep coming back for. And like you said, information is key. And that's what I realized recently is like, hey, give these people a reason to watch. Take them someplace they probably have never been to. So I've been hitting like local dive spots and stuff, which has been really fun. But Greta, can you talk a little bit about the benefits of staying at a lot of these different places that you've been able to stay at?
I mean, first of all, my whole life, I feel like I've never really stayed at many hotels in my life, you know? And it's always been one of my things, like when I go to like big cities or new places in general, I'm always like, oh, I wish I could see like the best like penthouse or the best apartment, the best like hotel room here. And honestly, it's been pretty crazy that we actually get to do it.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I love it. I think it's great. We see so many, and every single resort is so different.
Yes.
So even though we've been to so many of them, almost all of them, at least on the Strip, every single time we go to like a new place, there's something different, something new, which is always interesting. And then also the big plus is if you stay at a bad place, we live here, we can go home and sleep at home.
Yes, that's it. That's
so
it.
it's not like I'm forced, you know, we're forced to like sleep where we go. But
yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
So can you, Pompsie, talk a little bit about places that have surprised you, that were nicer than you expected maybe, and you'd probably go back?
That's a good question. Or it wasn't a question. Was it a question? I guess technically it was a question.
Can you talk? Yeah.
Can you talk? Okay. Sorry. Keep this in. That's a good question though. I would say you never really hear about like one called Hilton Grand Vacations.
Okay.
Which is like north, like right across from where the Fountain Blue is, you know. That one surprised me. It's like really nice.
Yeah.
Never hear about it, but they don't have a casino, so maybe that's why.
Right.
So that one's pretty cool, and even Casino Royale. You know that one? That small one.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have one.
That one's
Okay.
pretty good.
I feel like, maybe it's. I don't know. I feel like Treasure Island. Is kind of like underrated.
Yeah.
It's like in a decent location on the Strip. It has so much stuff in there, like restaurants and entertainment and everything. It's cool. I like Treasure Island.
Your guys' top 3 restaurants in the majority of the places you guys have been to.
My favorite restaurants are Oscars.
Oh, nice.
I
That's
like
nice.
Oscars a lot. Maybe partially because they treat me so well, but I don't know.
I've been saying this
The food
for
is so
7
good,
years.
though.
I've been saying this for 7 years about the Plaza team. They are super down to earth, good
Amazing.
people.
Yeah.
I'm meeting with them Monday to talk to them about what I told you. Just good people. And me and my wife naturally feel like family there all the time. And it's really funny you brought that up.
Yeah, no. Well, they were the first ones to ever like sponsor me.
Yeah.
Like, they were the first ones to ever provide me a room in exchange for a video.
That's
So that was
cool.
like
That's
that'll always be meaningful
It'll
to me.
stick to you, yeah.
That'll always be really meaningful. So Oscars, Top of the World, the Strat's really good, and I mean there's so many other options, but like we really like Mizumi at the Wynn.
Okay.
It's a sushi restaurant.
Okay.
It's really good too.
Okay.
What do What about you? What's still your favorite
So
one?
I really love. Well, I think it changed. There's this place called Mateo's at the Venetian,
Yes,
which
yeah,
is
okay.
incredible. I only had it once, but I fell in love. So that's my number
Without me.
one.
You got that without me.
Without you.
Mateo's, Mizumi.
I think Mateo's, Oscars, and Mizumi
Yeah,
are my
yeah.
top three. Probably.
It's hard not to like
I mean,
Oscars.
there's so many.
Yeah, well,
there's so
right,
much
yeah.
good food though. So.
And that's just it. And that's what I've been trying to do, guys, is get away from the strip and downtown, go to these.
Yeah.
I've been in Chinatown all day, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be there. I'm like, oh my God, dumpling signs everywhere, too. I'm like, man, there's some good food options. All you can eat buffets, sushis, you name it. I'm like, it's all there. I'm like, that's crazy. So I was like, man, I really wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about food, especially YouTube. Where do you see the channel going? Now that you've covered a lot of big properties, do you see yourself going back, or do you plan on trying and venturing something else, like maybe, other properties you haven't been to or stuff like that?
That's a good question. My goal for this year at least is to like kind of do new versions of older videos.
Yeah,
Like,
okay, yeah.
There's so many places I did like that were in 2020.
Okay.
And now like I want to do them again, do them better,
Yeah.
and show updates, because like in 2020 a lot of things were closed.
Yes.
So that's the goal for this year, and we hopefully want to make a trip out to Europe as well. But for the future of the channel, I always want it to be like just overall travel, not just stuck in Vegas.
Yeah.
But Vegas will always be a part of it.
Right.
But we'll see.
Vegas is always going to be our base.
Right.
This is probably the place where we're just going to stay.
Yeah.
I kind of like think about it. Sorry. I kind of think about it like seasons almost. Like when we feel like we've done so much Vegas, it'll be like, all right, this is the Vegas chapter, the Vegas season.
Yes.
And the next season is going to be Europe or whatever,
Yeah.
You know who does really good with their channel with that is Turn It Up World. They travel, they come to Vegas, they'll stay at certain places, they take off and they do drives, and there's a little bit of everything in the channel. So
They have a good mix.
And you guys, I mean, the vlogs in Italy were super cool. I mean, I've never been, and I'm sitting there staring at my phone like, holy shit, the boat video was super cool. I mean, just really cool. The friends, I mean, you laugh at the jokes and stuff, and that's what's neat is you're
And
like,
the accents.
yeah, you're like, wow, this is so cool, and you get to see a different side of what we're all used to. You know what I mean? So, and that's what's cool is you being from out there, and you come here, and you're like, wow, especially at places like the Venetian and stuff that similar to that. So, I definitely wanted to cover that stuff. What would you say is your guys' #1 go-to recommendation to stay in Las Vegas?
Like a hotel?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll just go with
It's a tough one, but I always say that I like the Venetian the most.
Yeah. Okay.
But Venetian, Cosmo, or the Wynn, those are amazing.
Wynn
But
is my favorite.
Wynn's
It
your
depends
favorite?
on pricing, obviously.
Wynn Encore.
Yeah.
Either or.
And one of those is all suites. Is it Venetian or Wynn Encore? They're all suites.
Or it might be both.
Venetian. Oh yeah,
Well,
it probably is both
I think
actually.
it's both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
think
Wynn-
it is both. Yeah.
the standard rooms there are suites.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, they're not like separated rooms, but you have like 2 areas.
Yeah. Hard not to like.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So both of them.
Awesome. So, what YouTubers inspired you starting YouTube and getting into that realm?
I'm inspired. I love YouTube first.
Yeah.
Like
me
I've
too.
learned so much from YouTube. I appreciate so many of the creators and the platform and everything. And there's been so many people I've watched, but the main channels that have inspired me the most. #1 is Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
Who's he's like the first vlogger who I thought made his videos in such a he made little movies. They weren't just like like, okay, it's 12, I'm gonna eat. Okay, it's 1, I ate, I just took a poop.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 2, I don't know, he made a movie every day. So
And
that
it
was
was
the main
neat
guy.
when he did stuff, and like you do in your videos, like he preset stuff up, right? Like when he'd sit down in front of his camera and you're like, wait, what did he just do? Or when you are having the camera point at you guys walk in the door, and then you guys walk in the door and you're already opening the door and the other camera's already giving that footage, like, that shit's well thought out, man. Like, it's really well done. The videos are really, really well done, and I really appreciate it. As a viewer, I've always said, dude, I'm more a freaking YouTube podcast fan till the day I die. Like, yeah, I'm a creator, but I love watching people's stuff, and the way you do it, it's really, really neat and entertaining in a way that I get stuck staring at my phone for 10 minutes. So seriously, thank you. I mean, the live streams, guys, are super fun. And I'm glad I got to sit down, chat with you guys. I know you guys got dinner, but I did want to thank you seriously for spending some time with me. And if you guys are available later, we'll definitely hang out. I think this will be a lot of fun. But seriously, thanks for coming on the channel. Guys, like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to his channel. Thank him again for coming onto the channel. This was a freaking blast. Thank you, Pompsie. Thank you, Greta.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I got to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreon members and supporters of the podcast and YouTube channel here. Thank you, folks. You folks are awesome. If you're new around here, do me a favor. Hit that red button. It doesn't cost you anything, and I promise you're going to find some really enjoyable content on this YouTube channel. So with that being said, I'm out of here. Make sure you're following us on social media, and until the next video, cheers.